I'm Lexi.
I'm Jajuan.
I'm Jose.
First thing we're going to do is add our power source. So we're going to go to Group Sources, Power Source, AC Power. Alright, we're going to make some adjustments to our power source. We want our voltage RMS to be 4.243, and we want our hertz to be at 100 hertz. Okay, we're going to have two resistors. Resistor 1 is going to be 330 ohms. So we got to find the 330 ohm resistor. There we go. And resistor 2 is going to be the 680 ohm resistor. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and put our ground in. So we're going to go back to power sources, and we're going to look for our ground. So we're going to place our ground. And then we want to connect everything. I'm going to go ahead and flip this. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees clockwise so that way it's easier. We're just going to connect everything. Alright, we have a complete circuit. I'm going to change our ground to black so we can tell the difference. Alright, now it looks like we're all set up. First we want to measure our peak-to-peak voltage. So what I'm going to do is connect the oscilloscope. Let's find that. Alright, and we're going to connect that to the positive side of resistor 1, and we're measuring peak-to-peak voltage from the source. And next we're going to ground it. And let's go ahead and open it up. Let me zoom out a little bit. Hold on. That's not that pretty. Okay. Alright, there we go. And let's take a look at our wave. Oh, I have to change it to AC. There we go. Let's take a look at our waveform. There we go. I'm going to stop it. And let's take some measurements. So I want to change the voltage scale to 2 volts per division. And just so it's easy to read, I'm going to change the time scale as well. There we go. So to measure peak-to-peak voltage, peak-to-peak is a measurement from the positive max to the negative max. If you look down here, we have it set at 2 divisions. 2 divisions per square. So the old school method, we're just going to count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 volts. So we're at 12 volts. Peak to peak is our measurement. Alright, so next we need to take a measurement of voltage RMS. The voltage RMS, one way to take it is we can take our voltage peak and multiply that by 0.707, or we could just use a digital multimeter. So I'm going to connect a digital multimeter. We're going to use the vertical multimeter. Let's move this off to the side. And let's go ahead and play that. We've already done the math, so hopefully we come up with somewhere around 4.243 volts, because 6 times 0.707 is 4.243. So let's see what we get. Oh, all right, give me 1 second. I forgot to change it to AC. All right, let's do that again. All right, perfect. So our voltage RMS is 4.243 volts, and that's at the source. So next, let's go ahead and measure the period, the amount of time it takes to complete one cycle. So I'm going to just roll this back. If you take a look down here for time, we have it set up at 2 milliseconds per division. So all we have to do is count out the squares, for a complete cycle. So the complete cycle is somewhere around here, and if we count out the squares at 2 milliseconds per cycle, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we have 10 milliseconds is the cycle, and frequency equals 1 over time. So the frequency for this sine wave will be 1 over 10 milliseconds, which would give us roughly 100 hertz. Oh, okay, so now we're going to go on to resistor, taking measurements from resistor 2. Alright, so I'm going to connect the oscilloscope input B to the top of resistor 2, and I'm going to go ahead and ground it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. We're no longer going to be looking at channel A, so I'm going to just hit 0 right there. I'm going to hit AC right here at channel B. Okay, and I'm going to make some changes to the divisions. So we're going to change the scale, the voltage scale, to 2 divisions. Time scale is still the same. Let's go ahead and run it. Perfect. Let's scroll back. Alright, so we want to measure our peak-to-peak voltage off of our resistor 2. We're at 2 divisions per square, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So our peak-to-peak voltage for resistor 2 is 8 volts. Next, we want to measure our voltage RMS, which is going to be our voltage peak, which is only 4 volts. 4 times 0.707. That should give us 2.828. So let's take a multimeter and verify. Change that to AC. And let's see what our RMS gives us. Hold on 1 second. For some reason that didn't take. It has to be set to AC. There we go, 2.857. So that's our RMS. And next we're going to measure the period to complete one cycle off of resistor 2. Alright, so again, the period is the time it takes to complete one cycle. So we're going to set our marker right here. That's about 1 cycle. We have our time base at 2 milliseconds per division. So we can count our squares: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 milliseconds. So our time to complete one cycle is 10 milliseconds. The frequency equals 1 over time, so 1 over 10 milliseconds is going to give us 100 hertz. All right, so we're going to talk about how to set up the AC circuit on the bench. We're going to have we have our two resistors. This is our 330 ohm resistor. This is our 680 ohm resistor. We're going to connect it in series. So it's not connected yet, but we're going to run our positive from our function generator to this end of our 330 ohm resistor. It's going to go through, and we have our ground right there, and then we'll take our measurements after we connect the function generator. So let's go ahead and connect the function generator. All right. Positive end is going to go here. The negative end, or the ground, is going to go right here. All right. So at this point, we're all set up. We just have to adjust the function generator to the correct amount of voltage and frequency, and take our measurements.
So when it comes to measuring old school, there's a couple ways you can do it. For getting your voltage peak, it's a real simple, just counting squares. So just center it over to the middle of the thing. You can use our positioning. Try to get at the bottom too, so it makes it easier. And simple square counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each notch is about like 0.2. So we have 5, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8. So right now our voltage peak is about 5.8. To get RMS, it's a simple multiplication of times 0.707, which gives us about 4.2. Now to measure frequency is another position change. Just try to get it to a simple spot in the middle. And it's another count, all the way to the next one. So do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's the time. We also have the time over here at 1 millisecond. To get frequency is just 1 over the time. So 1 over 0.1 milliseconds is about 0.1, gives you about 100 for the frequency. So about 100 hertz on frequency. The exact same process, but instead we're going to do it for our resistor 2. Originally for the other one we did our voltage source. So I'm going to scale it down. Move it over just a little bit. Simple math. 1, 2, 3. And that's about, say, 3.9. Yeah, it's almost 4. It's right in between. Also the simple math again to multiply it by 0.0707. And that'll give about 2.8 again. And then for frequency, it's 1, 2, about 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. But now the time has changed. The time is at 2. So this time it's going to be the exact same process. It's just we're going to multiply the time by our frequency, so I'll bring about 10, and then 1 over the time is going to be the frequency, and the frequency is going to be back at 100.
Now we're going to be measuring the voltage source and resistor 2, doing the new school version. I'm going to change over to resistor 1, turn off resistor 2. Let's see, let me clear this real quick. Okay. You're going to go to measure. First we're going to do peak to peak. So you're going to press measure, you're going to go to voltage, and you're going to go down to voltage VPP, which means voltage peak to peak. And here we have about 11.8, which is about what we got a couple other times. We're going to do voltage RMS, so you're going to press the second option and scroll down to voltage RMS, like that. Got about 3.8, which rounds up to 4, which is close to what we got in multisim. We're going to do the period now, which you're going to go to time, press the first option, and we got 10 milliseconds. And then for the frequency for new school, I'm going to press menu on, time, and go to the second option and click that. We got 100 hertz, which we got the other times as well. Now we are going to do resistor 2. I'm going to go to turn on channel 2, turn off channel 1. Time is still the same. So we're going to go to measure. We're going to press voltage, voltage peak to peak, and we got about 8, which is about right. Voltage RMS. Press voltage again and scroll down to VRMS, which we got about 2.6, which rounds up to 3. Our period, go to time, press period, 10 milliseconds, which we've gotten every other time. And then for our last thing, frequency, we're going to press time and go down to the second option. And it gives you 100 hertz, which we've gotten every time because the frequency does not change.